a night where the Rangers, the rested team at home, playing against the team that played and lost last night, that was below them in the standings. The Rangers don't lose ground in the standings because that's not how it works, but they don't gain, and that really hurts when you take all those other things into consideration.
That's why this is the most disappointing loss of the season, John. I'm looking at the standings just like the players, and this is why it's important to me, it's important to the players. You cannot get double digits away from the playoffs because the game becomes garbage. That's why the Buffalo Sabres have missed the playoffs the last 8 years in a row, because they've gotten double digits away from the postseason, and then everybody folds, right? Then you move people on, and everybody has a bad experience. Nobody improves. Player development stops cold in its tracks. Going into this game, going into Sunday's game against the Los Angeles Kings, the Rangers had 2 or more games in hand on the 5 teams ahead of them, right. And if they would have been able to reach 4 points in those 2 games, which they should get, then you're talking about 5 points, about in that range of 5 points away from a playoff appearance. And I can't stress this enough. The players are thinking about this. They're looking at it. It means a lot to them. You're never going to get a player to believe they're not going to make the playoffs until it's done. So if you can stay in that striking distance, it keeps all of the games relative. It makes them matter. And then you keep your culture. You keep everybody at least a good vibe about what could be potentially happening in the future for development.
Right.
All that good stuff. And that's why this one, for me, stings more than any other. It's just the timing of it.
Right, yeah. So the Rangers began the night 9 back of the playoff spot. They're going to finish 9 back. But like you said, it's a game in hand given away because they don't get 2 points against the team below them in the standings. It was a night here on MSG, and as Sam Rosen just said, we hope you enjoyed it, where we spotlighted and featured Artemi Panarin, what he does on the ice, what he does on the bench, and basically what he's done so far in his 52 games to help the Rangers and certainly to establish himself as one of the elite players in the whole world. And it was fun to watch him throughout the course of the night. He was held to the 1 assist in the 3rd period, but he was active.
Yeah, and it's one thing to talk about the player that we've been talking about all year. It's another thing to watch him from a different perspective. When you're watching the game of hockey at ice level, the game is 3-dimensional, and you're looking through people, and you can't really gain appreciation for that until you see somebody see a window open and then close. And when he makes his plays and they have the ISO cam on him tonight, it really illuminates the fact that he is so strong and his IQ is so great. He plays both ends of the puck, and you like the fact that he's involved in everything. This was an A-plus game for Panarin. It's not one of those games where he shows up on the score sheet 3 and 4 times, and that's how we measure him. But when you watch every small play around the ice, I thought he was terrific. He was in and out of the play. He was moving the puck 3 zones. He set up the Zibanejad goal, which he did a great pass on. And a lot of the plays that he made to set up his teammates for shots on goal, that's why he is where he is. On the cross-ice pass that he does so well and has done so frequently well this year, that's why you almost get a bounce there, John, because he's attempting that pass, and then you get the good fortune of a bounce here and there. And that broken play almost happens. Now, this is the assist on Zibanejad's goal. Wow. That's the pass right there where he's 3rd in the NHL, just behind McDavid and Marchand at executing this pass. You can see why it's such a difficult save for a goalie, because the goalie's starting on one side of the net, but it's not just the movement east to west, it's the rotation to the back post.
Right.
That's why that one goes in so frequently. And again, Panarin is right there, and it's a special play by a special player. Unfortunately, it wasn't in the first period because the Rangers needed that start rather than the short finish.
Right, yeah. So that goal came with 2:53 remaining. It cut the deficit to 3-1, and then about a minute later, the Rangers got a power play and only needed 20 seconds to cash in, and Chris Kreider gets his 20th of the year.
Yeah, exactly. And this has happened quickly.
Right.
Because don't forget, October, he was probably in the worst month that he had of his career, and you're wondering a lot, right? And I like the fact that it's Kakko here that draws this, John, because it shows what he's been doing. And now you're on the power play, and there's a little bit of life, a little bit of hope. You get within reach. Kreider knew it was in right away, and we found out afterwards the call on the ice stood. It was actually called a goal on the ice. There was some misunderstanding there, and I think that it was nice that they get close, but it's almost a little bit too late for the Rangers here, Johnny.
So there you go. So Chris Kreider has 20 on the year, 12 in his last 20 games, and that's how amazing it was that he had 8 in his first 30 or so, and now he has 12 in his last 20. So Chris Kreider reaches the 20-goal mark, but that's how it would end 3-2. When you think about the way the Buffalo Sabres scored their 3 goals, they were almost identical, and maybe they spoke to what the coaches told Dave Maloney before the start of the third period, which was just too slow for the Rangers.
Okay, so this is what I don't like about the goals. They're all the same, okay? Gergensen's in all alone. These are my notes. Reinhart in all alone. Vesey in all alone. Why does that happen? It happens when your first position is slow, and that's defensively as a team, and that's usually because you're thinking slow, or you don't know how to check, or you're not paying attention to the details and assignments that you need to have when you're playing defensive hockey in an important game, the most important game of your season. I don't like the fact that these are all in all alone goals. And if you're going to tell me that the Rangers were ready to go in this hockey game, they weren't, because you wouldn't give up these types of softballs, meatballs, easy layups to a Buffalo Sabres team, John, that I almost had to change the channel in overtime last night against the Detroit Red Wings. It was so bad, the hockey. This was a team that should be easy takings. They should have tenderized the meat early and then attacked them. And there wasn't enough forechecking, and then clearly there was missed assignments on big scoring chances. And it was a little too easy for the Buffalo Sabres. I don't like the fact that it was those styles of goals that were repeated during the hockey game. And there's going to be a lot of tough answers in the Rangers locker room tonight on this one.